From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon and thanks for joining us on the Noon News. I'm Diane Parker. Miller has our forecast. Plus, we take a look at how electric school buses are working in Montana's frigid winter weather. But first, our top story. We begin in Red Lodge, where tourism, the town's biggest industry, is hurting. A lack of snowfall this winter, coupled with last summer's flooding, is keeping tourists away. MTN's Charlie Kleps reports.
It's a test. 2022 was a test.
It's been a hard year for Mac Dean. The owner of the Yodeler Motel in Red Lodge lost half of his rooms to the June flooding and now is struggling to fill the ones he has left due to a lack of snowfall this season.
It is the worst year we have seen on the books in 14 years.
And he isn't alone.
Every business is suffering, from what I understand. The numbers are way down. So hopefully it snows.
It's not the first time this has happened, won't be the last.
Red Lodge Mountain General Manager Jeff Schmidt agrees the year has been slow so far, but he also believes it will pick up.
Red Lodge is known as a land of extremes. You know, we can get 5 feet surprise overnight or none for a while. Typically, after January is when it really turns on here.
We're looking forward to all our February and March events, and that's typically when we get a lot of our snow. We're kind of known for our spring skiing.
Executive Director at the Red Lodge Chamber of Commerce, Sherry Weimer, echoed Schmidt's optimism, saying that she's confident the community will bounce back.
We are resilient and have so much to offer.
We're used to getting hit and getting back up, and it's never changed.
For Dean, an avid skier himself, he'll just keep patiently waiting for the powder to arrive.
We are known for our late season dumps, so I'm counting on those. I think it's going to get 100% better, but I don't need any more tests.
In Red Lodge, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
An overnight shooting in the Billings Heights leading to a short standoff and arrest has police looking for the victim, still unsure if he was hit by gunfire. The shooting happened outside the Edgewood Apartments on Lake Elmo Drive. When police arrived, the suspect and the victim fled the scene. Officers found the suspect in a vehicle a few blocks away. And meanwhile, on the Crow Reservation, a suspect is in custody for shooting and killing a man. Here's what we know. The FBI and Bureau of Indian Affairs are investigating, releasing very few details at this time. The man was shot multiple times last Wednesday and he died in the hospital. One person was taken into tribal custody. The victim's name or details surrounding the shooting have not been released. Construction is complete on Montana's first full-time medical school. Rocky Vista University in Billings welcomes its first batch of students in July. And this isn't your typical college. There are no lecture halls. Instead, the building is filled with simulation rooms. Eventually, students will even learn by using virtual reality. The first class is set to have 80 students. An Arby's employee in Great Falls is being hailed as a hero for helping save a customer's life. Allie Wallace performed CPR on a customer when he went into cardiac arrest. She says she's had her basic life support certification for 4 years and quickly recognized the customer needed help. In Billings, the Shrine Auditorium has a new name. It is now called the Eagle Seeker Community Center. The Native American Development Corporation purchased the property last fall and say the name symbolizes vision, leadership, and looking toward the future. The 50,000 square foot building will offer entrepreneurial services, medical services, and more. And that's a look at some of the day's top stories.
Tuesday, everybody. Hopefully treating you good so far. Let's take a look at those projected highs this afternoon. We may not get there in some spots because of the cloud cover. May keep these temperatures down just a bit. We got that northwest flow coming in, and of course we got these little pulses of energy jetting through. That's why some of us have a chance to see some of that snow today. We'll go just below freezing in Helena at 31, Missoula at 31. Right at the freezing mark in Kalispell today at 32, 31 in Glasgow, up to 34 in Glendive, 36 in Miles City. Maybe one of our warmer spots today is going to be in the Billings area, where we'll try to get into the low 40s, and we'll be mid to maybe upper 30s down there, northern parts of Wyoming. So a couple blasts of energy the next couple of days, giving us daily snow showers, and then a big cool down on the way. We'll take a look coming up.
Montana food banks are reporting a growing need for food assistance. This week, state lawmakers are considering a bill aimed at bringing fresh local products to families in need. MTN senior political reporter Jonathan Ambarian has more.
Advocates say the last year has seen a big spike in the number of people seeking help from Montana food pantries, and they're proposing a new grant program intended to help both those families and Montana farms and ranches.
People really are excited about what this can be for our state.
Lorianne Burhop is the Chief Policy Officer for the Montana Food Bank Network. She says in November 2022, 44,000 households used Montana food pantries, up from 29,000 the previous November.
At this point, the numbers at Montana's food pantries are either at or above where we saw them back in March 2020, and it's seemingly more sustained at this point. It hasn't been just a bump and then back down. It's been month after month. Those numbers remain high.
They're supporting House Bill 276, sponsored by Republican Representative Marty Malone of Prey. It would set up a farm-to-food bank grant program to encourage food hubs to purchase farm and ranch products and distribute them to food pantries. The bill includes $1 million in funding for the next 2 years.
I think there's a lot of potential for this work. There's a lot of interest. There's a lot of pieces already being set in local communities, but what's missing is often the funding. So to have 2 years of state funding to help get this off the ground, demonstrate what a reality it can be for our state, I think that will help to encourage additional private support, public support, really make this a partnership going forward to say this is good for Montana.
Supporters say this program would not only provide a reliable market for Montana farms and ranches, but make a big impact for those seeking assistance.
Farm communities in Montana, have some of the same struggles as any other rural community. Hunger can be a problem there. And so it benefits the farmers to have some place to sell their goods and for them to have some place to access goods that they don't grow on their farms.
HB 276 is set for its first hearing Tuesday afternoon in the House Agriculture Committee. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
A bill in the Montana legislature would exempt churches from certain fire safety codes, and here's why it matters. In Billings, First Congregational Church often serves as a homeless shelter, but fire inspectors say that must stop as the building doesn't meet requirements for overnight stays. Churches in Montana have offered protection from the cold for decades, and a Great Falls lawmaker believes it needs to continue. He's sponsoring a bill saying churches can let people stay overnight without installing fire sprinkler systems, but many firefighters disagree.
I come to you today representing the Montana State Firemen's Association. And though we empathize with the points brought by the bill sponsor and the points brought by Family Promise, and we fully respect the hard work that our faith-based organizations put into serving our marginalized and underserved communities, I must speak to the body of the bill, which we do oppose on Senate Bill 195.
The Senate Local Government Committee says it will vote on whether to move the bill forward at a later time. And tomorrow night at 7, make sure to join MTN for Governor Greg Gianforte's State of the State address to the Montana legislature. You can watch the entire event live on your local MTN streaming app.